Welcome to Andorks, the podcast where every week we analyze and scrutinize the Star Wars series Andor 7 minutes at a time. My name is Rusteen Honardoost.
And I'm Alex Wallenett.
And today we are joined by our very special friend, socialist organizer, Noah Suarez-Sikes. Welcome, Noah.
Yeah, hi. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be your guinea pig for testing out this audio setup.
Yes, Noah is our very first remote record.
He's a very far away, 15 minutes by car.
Yeah, what I understand from having guested on my friends' podcasts is that listeners love the behind-the-scenes shit. They love to hear about this kind of stuff. So, many are saying, and they're saying it very strongly.
We've got Noah on a hologram here in the room with us.
Yeah, I'm coming to you live from a bunch of camera equipment glued together into some sort of weird World War II style comms relay. So that's why if you hear any clipping, that's because I'm really playing into the fantasy that George Lucas created with the first series of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, you're using the 1970s era technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Many are saying this.
Noah, I would love to know, what's your connection to Star Wars and where were you when you found Andor?
That's a great question. So, like all children who came of age during the late 2000s, I was heartily disappointed by the prequels. But no, I mean, I watched Star Wars as a kid, and the thing about me is I love to accumulate lore. I love to accumulate random little bits of information. And so any setting that has a ton of little bits of lore out there that I can just sort of gobble up and, internalize, that's something that I love. So my relationship to Star Wars is I watched I have seen all of the movies, including the trash series of sequels.
Have you seen the animated Ewoks movie?
No.
Then you have not seen all the movies.
I have seen the Christmas special, or portions of the Christmas special, I believe. But that's something. I refuse to watch the animated Ewoks movie because I think I think Ewoks are a violent race of sort of weird bear things.
They're the Viet Cong. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if anyone should be a supporter of the Ewoks, it would be you, I would think.
I'm sorry. I think, you know what? I think these Ewoks have not been tested for rabies.
Whoa.
And they're just walking around. It's really a problem. But no, but for real.
I hate Ewoks.
for real, I am strongly anti-Ewok. I want to be very clear about that. The Empire was right to blow up their moon. But yeah, and then also, a lot of my experience with Star Wars is the various computer games related to Star Wars, many of which are non-canon now for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Because we live in a corporate hellscape where acquisition destroys the things that we love. So yeah, and of course I came to Andor because everybody kept saying, oh my God, I love Andor because it's not like the other Star Wars. And then I saw some Tony Gilroy quotes about how it was like young Stalin. And I went, oh, God, I mean, if somebody's making a sci-fi TV show about young Stalin, well, I'm going to have to watch that. And I'm glad I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Diego Luna makes for a great Stalin.
And by young Stalin, we mean Y-U-N-G.
Yeah, that's my rapper name. The cringiest white person doing a sort of socialist rap that you can imagine.
As a connoisseur of the expanded universe and Star Wars lore, Alex is a noted hater of the EU and refuses to engage with it.
That's
if
correct.
You were going to offer any one thing, is there anything that you think would convince Alex to, or any of our listeners who haven't touched the EU? To
not at all. It's all garbage.
Thank you.
It's all garbage. I just love shoveling that garbage into my craw. Give me the Yuuzhan Vong, Give me more Yuuzhan Vong. Give me, I guess, more Rakatan Infinite Forges, okay? Give me, I don't know.
This means nothing to me, and I am pleased.
This means something to you, and you know it.
It just passes through one of Alex's ears and out the other.
Something
My
about
girl
something about
Bastila
ricotta
Shan.
cheese.
Yeah, the ricotta cheese planet.
My girl Bastila Shan. My girl Darth Kreia. You know.
Oh, we
like,
love Kreia.
Yeah, I love the cryptic old woman. The stock Star Wars character. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all good stuff. Yeah, and of course, I rarely engage with any of the like modern day, shall we say, expanded universe content because just for the listeners, if you've heard me on other podcasts, you may already have guessed this about me, but I'm the kind of person who goes, hold on, under what political structure is the First Order able to establish this ongoing? I'm sorry. Where are where is the sort of like Republic's internal security force? You know, and to be fair, George Lucas thinks about these ideas all the time, which is why the prequels are all about trade conflict. But I'm the person who's like, all right, where are we getting our First Order paramilitaries funded? Why can they take over entire planets? What's the tax status of the First Order?
Which is why we have you on our Andorks podcast, because that's all we talk about.
Well, because the thing is that the First Order actually recently separately incorporated from the Empire.
We're not in the Force. This is not the First Order yet, so let's save that for when we do the sequels.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay, I'm going to have a whole rant about the state of the Empire later. But yes, I'm the kind of person who this TV show was made for, who goes, I wonder whether they use Robert's rules in the Galactic Senate.
And this is why this is the first of many appearances from Noah on the Andorks podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to Senate procedure.
Motion to divide Darth Maul.
I mean, that's what Obi-Wan did.
Yeah, that's the joke, Alex.
But Qui-Gon wasn't alive to second it, unfortunately.
Yes,
so he broke
Qui-Gon
procedure.
Jinn, it's been a total disaster. Can you believe it? It's been terrible.
Okay, Noah, you get 3 Trump impressions.
What? Okay, after that one or including that one? Because if it's including that one,
that's fair. I'll give you a warning. You get 3 more. Pick them carefully.
God damn. I'm being I'm invited onto this podcast. I'm asked to, opine. And the moment that I start saying that Qui-Gon Jinn has been a terrible loser disaster who has destroyed the entire Republic.
No, you're the one with the heart out.
That's true. Many are saying this. So how about this 7 minutes of
thank you.
About 5 minutes of which is people shooting at each other.
We want to give you room to talk.
So
and you did.
Previously on Andor, the people of Ferrix rang the alarm that Primor security had arrived on the planet to arrest Cassian, and we rejoin Cassian and Luthen trying to figure out their escape plan as the Primor security has them surrounded. Luthen asks how they can get a speeder out of town, and Andor makes reference to these secret tunnels that lead to the west side. And Luthen has luckily planted slab charges on the outside of the warehouse, and he has his badass line. Rule number 2 is build your exit on the way in, and he immediately detonates the charges, knocking the Primor security out and sending the warehouse into
everywhere
disarray.
He goes. Like he's at like a Dexter Jettsters and just goes in and sets up bombs every time.
He's going to the opera and they're like, sir, you have to check your bombs before you go in. And he's like, these are my emotional support bombs, actually. I'm allowed to bring them in.
While we're on it, no, actually, this is something we've been talking about. What are your thoughts on Luthen and sort of what do you think like a political parallel for Luthen is?
Okay. I'm so glad you asked this. So, a couple things. Number one, Luthen did nothing wrong and has never done anything wrong at any point in the entire series.
Agreed.
Which is my main complaint about season 2.
Baby doll did nothing wrong.
Correct. He's baby girl. I know that Wolinets, you have Andor lack of object permanence, where if it's not happening in the episode, then you forget about it. So if you want to cover your ears, that's okay. But in season 2, they pretend like Luthen has been wrong about anything over the entire course of the season, which is crazy because he's never wrong and he's never shown to be wrong. I think if you're talking about like historical parallels, one of the things, because this entire TV show is almost directly based off of Stalin's early career, one of the things that I think is important to sort of tie it back to is the political instability of the Russian Empire, and sort of the figure of the lone radical terrorists committing political assassinations, right? And I do think that's something that like Luthen is inspired by. But if you're talking about like what Luthen is inspired by generally historically, I do think, this is going to piss some people off, but probably, he's a sort of like archetype. You have so many fucking like people like this. One of them being Trotsky, where you're like,
No. Nemec is space Trotsky.
No, wrong. Nemec is space. Fucking what's his name? The Italian guy.
Gramsci?
Thank you. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I forgot. Yeah, Nemec is space Gramsci. No. The thing is, Nemec is not space Trotsky. I think Luthen is closest to being space Trotsky because he is a tactical genius who has a lot of important theoretical contributions to the rebellion, but who everybody fucking hates, and as a result gets kind of sidelined and is not around when the rebellion actually happens. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't get to fuck space Frida Kahlo.
At least on screen. We don't know what's happening in those time
We don't know what
jumps.
happened in the hypothetical sort of seasons that they had to compress to get season 2. But to get back to it, I think Luthen is a really good character that any sort of leftist organizer can empathize with, specifically the parts where he's like, it's not in this portion that we're discussing, but the various parts where he expounds upon what the meaning of being in the rebellion are I think very relatable if you are organizing in a socialist context. But yeah, the main thing about Luthen that I notice in this clip is how absolutely washed he looks.
Yeah.
My man looks bad as hell.
But this is also like him at the forefront of his battle against the Empire. Like, yes, he's been doing it for a year, like but he's just...
I mean, like, I get it. But, like, a comb costs like $2.
His hair looks okay. I'm looking at his hair right now.
You gotta be a professional revolutionary.
It's pretty short. I can't imagine how much a comb would even do. Diego Luna looks more, frazzled.
No, he's a very healthy-looking 21-year-old.
That's true. Yeah, he has that syndrome where he ages really quickly.
He has Jack disease?
He has Jack disease.
Has either of you seen Jack?
No.
No. Honestly, I thought you were referring to, like, a person called Jack. And I was like, who the fuck do I know?
No, it's the Francis Ford Coppola movie with Robin Williams where he's like a 45-year-old man in kindergarten.
Oh, that's so concerning.
Yes, it's a great movie.
That's really upsetting. So
we're going to add that to the Andor syllabus of
we're all gonna
connected films we'll talk about.
My understanding is that at the beginning of this thing, we begin with, they're going through the old furnace, which, by the way, that is the name of a wine bar in a sort of gentrified neighborhood. You want to go down to the old furnace?
Thank you for getting us back on plot. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they are in this warehouse that they met up in for Luthen to buy the Starpath unit. And Luthen has made the pitch now to Andor to join him in fighting the Empire. But the Fremor's security have come and crashed the party. And Luthen detonates his charges that then send these shockwaves through this warehouse where, as far as I can tell, it's a dangling chain warehouse. I don't really know.
It's the hanging weights factory. I was going to ask, like, what does Primor specialize in? Because what I understand of the factories on this planet, they pretty much all produce environmental puzzles.
This is Ferrix, not Primor, you dumbass.
So
you fool.
They have jurisdiction.
They do have jurisdiction. So here on Ferrix, this is a salvage yard planet, because in Star Wars, every planet
economy work?
Not well, which is, I think, by design. Like, Ferrix is specifically set up to receive all of the scrapped ships across the Empire
from the Republic.
Yeah, from the Republic / Empire. And I think in this warehouse, what these chains are, you could probably put like giant pieces of scrap on these chains, lift them up, get underneath them.
No. Rusteen, you're really wrong about this. You're really wrong about this.
What am I wrong about?
Have you played the video game Star Wars Jedi
Fallen
Survivor?
Order? I didn't play Survivor. I played Fallen Order.
And then there's Survivor.
Yeah.
in either one of these, what this factory on Ferrix is for developing environmental puzzles for each of those games. So it's just developing a bunch of weights on chains for you to like force push around. It's a growth industry.
It is.
This factory is like hysterically created. Like it's like feels like it's like a cartoon of all the stuff bouncing off the walls.
It's literally just a factory with stuff to crush you.
Yeah, the factory that crushes you instantly.
It feels like Powerhouse should be playing in the background. Just
okay, the other thing that really like the thing that bumped me in this scene is that they kept being like talking about the box is right over there, the box, and I was just like, wait, Gwyneth Paltrow's head's gonna be in there?
That's why Andor is trying so hard to get it, whereas Luthen doesn't care about Gwyneth Paltrow. Luthen keeps saying, just leave the box, I don't care about the box. He literally told Andor like 5 seconds ago, I don't care about the box, I came here for you. And
Luthen
Andor risks their lives.
Luthen coming out as gay by yelling that he doesn't care about the box.
But yeah, there's a guy gets like trapped by the foot, like his foot, and then like slips. It's just, this is cartoon stuff.
It really is. It is I would say this is like a good piece of like action spectacle, but it does also feel a little perfunctory. Like we have to have a shootout happen in this first episode, so let's just like get it in before the end of it. Because this is not the kind of thing the show is particularly interested in.
Zany antics?
Yeah. Where like Luthen like shoots one of the things and it's like wrapped around the guy's foot and drags him off screaming.
It feels like a shootout in like Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, like the lasso like wrapping around the guy and
While the people of Ferrix
ruins this suit.
While the people of Ferrix are banging on all the metal, they like set up a fake Ferrix facade to trick Cyril and Mosk.
Ferrix, the worst house music you've ever heard in your life.
And while this shootout is happening, and right when we see the Primor Corpos getting just totally owned, we do cut back to Mosk and Cyril as they're running through the town. And Mosk is yelling at them like, you were supposed to wait for us to engage. And they start sprinting over to the warehouse. And that's when we return, and there's this like moment of quiet where Andor and Luthen and the Primor security are hiding behind cover, and Andor makes a run for it again. It's like, you could have gotten out.
I just want to say, Mosk, a guy who is formatted in widescreen.
Do you want to talk about them now, or do you want? We'll talk about them when we cut back to them.
Yeah, we'll cut back to them and have a good opportunity to talk. I think right now the biggest thing to talk about is that Andor sees the Starpath unit sitting there in the middle of the warehouse. He runs for it. Another giant hunk of metal falls, knocks it away, and Andor gets shot.
Okay, I'm so annoyed by this. When you get shot by a blaster, do you die or not?
No, if you are a main character, you do not die.
But everybody else is insta-kill.
Yes, he has plot armor. Anybody else gets shot. He gets shot in like the shoulder.
How do blasters work?
It is, I told you.
Well, they immediately cauterize the wound. So immediately they're a really shitty...
but everybody else in the Star Wars universe, when they get like their pinky gets shot, they're dead on the ground.
Yes.
Well, what happens is that if you get shot by the blaster, you are immediately teleported away to a sort of like side cutscene where Amit the Devourer is present, and then your heart is weighed against a feather. And of course, if the Force decides that your heart is heavier than the feather, you are devoured whole by Amit the Devourer and die. Otherwise, you survive with no issues.
So you're saying
that's what I understand.
Despite all of his years of whoring around and scamming people out of money, you're saying
I don't
Andor's
like that you're
heart
slut shaming Andor. I don't like that you're doing that. You know, I think you know, in the sexually liberated environment of the Star Wars universe, it's actually perfectly acceptable for him to be going around, you know, engaging in consensual sex work.
Well, it does make sense because Star Wars did happen a long, long time ago, which is appropriately around the Old Kingdom in Egypt.
Yeah, I like that part in the original Star Wars movie where Luke gets cast out into the desert for 40 years. They're just kind of wandering around.
God, we cannot start talking
Don't get me
about
started on
biblical
this.
connections of Star Wars.
I like that part. I like that part where you know, what's his name? Lando Calrissian turns to Luke and then kisses him on the cheek, which allows the various Imperial forces to identify him in the crowd and then crucify him.
Wait, we went to Jesus? I thought we were in the Old Testament.
Well, as a Catholic, as a practicing Catholic, I joke. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I'm just an ethnic Catholic.
I was making a joke about how when God gets mad at Lando for making a golden bantha.
Yeah, I think it was really weird when Mon Mothma turned directly to the camera and said, "There she lusted after her lovers that she had when she was a prostitute in the land of Egypt, whose members were like those of horses and whose emission was like that of donkeys."
Well, you got it.
That is
good job.
That is
Noah
Ezekiel.
had a little pad. I should have put this in an envelope that I can open up. That Noah will make a reference to that one Bible passage.
That is Ezekiel chapter 23, verse 18 to 22. Chapter 23, verse 18 to 22.
Anyway, back to Mosk and Cyril.
They are running through the streets of
Back to the Blowjob
Ferrix.
Brothers.
Yeah. The Blowjob Brothers.
Well, if it isn't the Blowjob Brothers.
They call up the North team, who are just completely lost. They are holding on to Bix, but there's no street signs anywhere, so they have no idea where they are in relation to everybody else. And Bix tries to make a run for it.
That's just bad urban planning.
So I think it's intentional. You know, I think on the one hand, it's showing how primitive Ferrix kind of is relative to the rest of the Empire. But also, I think this is maybe an intentional thing that they've done that only we know how to navigate these streets.
Yeah,
you have to be from Ferrix.
Yeah.
You have to be from Ferrix to know how to get around.
This is here's my digression also. This is the problem with being an occupying colonial power. One of the things that I find really interesting about the way that they've done the production design and costuming of this entire section is that all of the pre-war security people are, I have to assume this is intentional, really, really, like, they have a kepi on. They are very... They look a lot like the sort of colonial occupation troops of, for example, the Second French Empire, right? With the little kepi hats that they're wearing and the blue uniforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the accent color being sort of reddish orange, which, of course, as I'm sure you all know, the accent color on the French uniform was red. That's where the pants. And of course, the connection of the France during the mid 1800s, going through a period where it became a republic after the collapse of the monarchy in 1848 due to the liberal revolutions, and then by 1851 had been transformed into a more autocratic empire under Napoleon the Third. I forgot there was a Napoleon the Second. Napoleon the Third, via actually a process of the Republican National Assembly doing a sort of auto golpe type thing, and then undergoing a coup. If you can tell, I've been reading the 18th Brumaire again. Recently, but my point being,
we'll have you back to talk about the French hats in Gorman next season.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Well, okay. So the thing is, I was actually very sympathetic to the people of Gorman until I found out that they were French. At which point, I'm like, okay, now maybe they had it coming. But the point being that, like, there's a very specific sort of visual reference being drawn to, for example, the French or even Belgian colonial occupation troops in places like sub-Saharan Africa, where the Belgian Force Publique operated as a sort of weird personal fiefdom of the King of Belgium that was also sort of a corporate entity. And here I have to ask, what the fuck does Primor do? What do they manufacture?
Rusteen, you want to explain this?
The full title of Primor is the Consolidated Holdings of Preox Morlana Corporation. So I don't even know that they have like a specific thing. They are just a conglomeration of companies across the Morlana sector. And so I think they probably own, industrial facilities.
I think they're just a giant Pinkerton.
Yeah, exactly. Giant
Well, you can't
space
just
Pinkerton.
be a giant Pinkertons. The Pinkertons are hired to protect something.
Well,
Yes, capital interest.
So Preox is
What is
situated.
the capital interest then?
They're situated in the free trade sector of the Outer Rim.
Okay, that just raises further questions.
Yes.
Welcome to Andorks, the podcast. Yeah.
With whom?
I think it is between people both within the Empire and also people outside of the Empire who need access to industrial equipment and stuff like that, is my guess.
I'm sorry, is there a planned economy? I'm so confused at this point.
You see why the Galactic Civil War happened in the first place now.
I need you to explain this to me using the Victoria 3 interest groups.
Well, I'm going to be unable to
Yeah,
do that
I'm
for
also
you.
don't play
I'm
Victoria
sorry.
3, so
if any of our listeners can relate what's happening in Star Wars
Neither of you
through
had
Victoria
the amount
3.
of Tylenol that I had, or that my mom had when I was a baby, that enabled me to be really good at Paradox Grand Strategy video games. So it's okay, it's fine. I guess I think the reason I am stuck on this is because it seems it doesn't make sense. Are they a private military contractor? No, because they have facilities, right? So what are they refining and extracting?
No, these are different things. The planet of Ferrix has its own independent economy.
No, I know that.
Okay.
I know that the planet of Ferrix.
These are not a private military force. They are private security for the company. So they are only
I'm looking
there.
At the CIA World Fact Book for the Imperial Intelligence Bureau's World Fact Book for Ferrix, and I'm like, oh, it looks like they have an independent economy. I know that they're private security, but the company that hires them, what does it do?
We don't know.
Wow.
I think they own factories. They are in charge of all of the business happening across all of these planets.
When you're good to Primor's good to you.
Maybe this is maybe I'm just a dumb, but I think essentially Prelox Morlana is contracted to the Empire to keep the status quo I guess is in exchange for X% of tax revenue and percentage of products made within their planets.
I think
in exchange for control for local control.
See, because when I initially watched this, way back in the halcyon days of whatever year it came out, my understanding was that this is basically a bunch of security guards who worked for a corporation that had been essentially assigned to economically develop this sector.
That could be it too.
Right.
That's in line with what Alex is saying.
The blowjob brothers that work for this corporation have called the other set of dumbasses who are holding Bics, and then the one extremely Irish coded, because I think the actor is actually Irish, gentleman whose name is Timm.
Yes, Timm.
Yes, Timm.
2 M's.
I love how Star Wars names are either
every week. We talk about this every week.
Yes.
We will not stop talking about Timm till he's gone.
Well,
which is very soon. Yeah,
it's happening now. Because, yes, Timm sees that the Corpos smacked Bix's head against the wall so hard, she's just got blood pouring out of her. And the sight of this makes him grow furious, and he starts demanding, who did this to her. And when they command him to stop, he charges, and one of those sniveling Corpos fires a shot at him, and Timm drops to the ground.
Because he does not
dead.
have plot armor.
Which, I'm sorry, what did he
does not have plot
happen?
armor. I think he's so
I'm sorry,
furious.
What did you expect to happen?
if I saw somebody hurt Adria Arjona, I would also go into a blood rage that would probably end with me getting killed.
We would all go into a blood rage for Adria Arjona, okay?
My guess is also
nobody's disputing that.
Even though there is a history of violent oppression on Ferrix, the feeling I get, especially the reaction by the other Corpo, is that when the real violence happens, they bring in the real troops. These are the fuck-ups who Cyril and Mosk got to come out on a patrol.
I think their only jurisdiction is protecting Primors. And Andor killed 2 Primor employees, so they're allowed to go after Andor, but they don't have any jurisdiction over anybody else on
Yeah, it's
Ferrex.
like what happens if you whip a battery.
Which is what happens when they go to Marva's house. She says, you guys don't have the authority to hurt B.
Okay,
they don't even have the authority to hurt a droid.
Then who kills Clem?
That are stormtroopers.
That's what I want to make sure. That's why you ask questions so you get answers.
Exactly. So yeah, because when the Corpo shoots
Listening
Timm,
and learning.
He gets his gun taken away, and he's sent back to the drop pod to go and give air support, which is what Mosk is asking for.
Administrative leave. They put him on administrative leave with full pay.
Yes, exactly. If you've watched The Wire, this is a very Bluesky coded moment of the cop who goes a little gun crazy.
Wow. Surely this would have no parallels in our modern society. Now to take a big sip of my water.
And the camera lingers on Timm's dead body for a long time, which I think is supposed to both give Bix an opportunity to show how distraught she is that he's been killed, while also reminding us that just because you collaborate with the occupying force does not protect you from the violence that they then inflict.
Yeah, for sure, because they don't think of you as a person.
Especially when you use that state power to just piss off your girlfriend.
Yeah. Let's not pour one out for Timm, but we should, this is the last we're seeing of him. And I
think we can consider Timm to be a complicated historical figure within his own time, within his own Timm, if you will.
Without Timm, Andor would not have met Luthen.
So in many ways,
yes,
without Timm,
I guess he would have met Luthen.
He
would have met Luthen. If anything,
without
they would have
Timm,
had an easier way of getting out.
If it wasn't for Timm, Timm wouldn't be dead. That's basically it.
If it wasn't for Timm, Timm would have gotten Bix, and Andor wouldn't have.
That's true.
And
I mean, look, I understand that Timm did a lot of really terrible stuff, but he was really important to me growing up. He taught me it was okay to be weird.
He would have fumbled Bix eventually.
He absolutely would have. He did fumble Bix actively.
So let's get back to the plot. So where did we end off?
So
Timm gets shot.
Yes, Timm gets shot.
Spoiler alert.
Well,
sorry
also,
for this episode of
one
Andor.
thing I want to point out is that before Timm walks up, the Primor Corpos are saying, just leave her, we're going to go. So if Timm had just waited 30 seconds, they would have been gone and he could have rescued her. And instead, he's dead and the Primor security leave Bix handcuffed to the wall. And that's when we then cut back to Mosk and Cyril.
Yeah, so Cyril and Mosk and a couple of other Primor security guards are walking by. One of them reports that they have killed, quote, they have killed 3 soldiers. Mosk asks who's they because he's very unwoke and does not accept that someone could be using they, them as their pronouns.
Many are saying this. Again, Mosk, he taught me it was okay to be weird. I'm going to use that one again, just for rule of threes purposes.
You got 3 Trumps to go. I'm just reminding you.
That's true.
What? Oh my God, that's true. I got to use them all in one go.
Mosk, he's been a complete disaster. Can you believe it, Mosk? They call him Mosk.
Mosk is a real Trump second term appointee, not a first term. He's a real second term appointee.
But he's been great. He's been great as my Secretary of Defense. Okay, he's very wide. The enemy, they can't get around him because he fills up more corridors, okay?
Mosk tells Pete Hegseth that his speeches are all amazing. You did such a good job up there,
Thank you for telling everyone they need to lose weight. It was a very good thing to hear.
I'm sorry. You know what? I think it's really important to have, if you're running sort of this kind of gambit, it's important to have, a hype man who's the stupid thing that you're trying to do is good, actually.
Do you now, if you want to talk about Cyril and Mosk or Cyril in general, and now's your time.
Oh, the Blowjob Brothers? Yeah.
The political context of Cyril.
Yeah, the political context of the Blowjob Brothers. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people have opinions about Cyril, and I think a lot of them are valid, but I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but he is hot. It's unfortunate. You have to admit he's hot. Many are saying he's not, but it's true that he is hot. So
he does look extremely nervous throughout this whole sequence here.
People love a nervous man.
I want to take count of like how many times it looks like he's shit himself, because it is at least 8 times.
Do you prefer Kyle Solar without the beard, or wait,
really
no, Kyle Solar with the beard or without the beard?
Without. But
have you seen him with the beard?
Yeah, this is a personal preference.
Okay.
I'm not a beard guy, but I do want to say, obviously I'm doing a bit here, but just what I will say is that I think one of the things that's really great about this performance is that pretty much every single time you see Cyril, it looks like he has either shit himself or is about to piss himself, which are different looks. Yeah. Very different looks. And I think that's actually a really good command of one's sort of face and potentially also sphincter muscles. It's really impressive. I think all the performances in this show are extremely well inhabited, but I think that performance, and of course the performance of Dedra, who I don't think you've run into yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah. So Dedra, the actress playing Denise Goff. Denise Goth, Denise Goth, who hangs around the mall,
at the Hot Topic
of the mall. Denise Goth, she does a really fantastic performance there, and deserves many awards.
We'll have you back to talk about.
Yeah,
her.
we'll have you back.
So Cyril, thank you. So moving on. So they fuck up real bad, and we go to the inside of the house, right?
Yeah, Cyril goes inside the shop, and he's so scared. 3 little alien guys run out and he shoots at them.
I loved this part because I love a freaky little guy. And
have we named these guys?
No, we haven't, because these are brand new. We do see them a little bit later after Cyril gets inside the shop, because him and Mosk split up to set up an ambush to get Andor and Luthen when they try to leave. And we do see later 3 little brown frog guys.
So before we get to them, I do want to point out a very funny moment, which is we see Mosk go and run up some stairs and go up to a roof.
Yes.
And then the building that Cyril goes to, there's a buzzer and he hits it and it doesn't work.
And he
just keeps hitting it until it opens.
It over and over again. Yeah. Which, to be fair, you know what? Just like me, for real.
Which is just funny, because in Star Wars, if you shoot a closed door, it opens. And if you shoot an open door, it closes. So it's funny that he didn't just shoot it to get the door to open up. Also, Mosk pulls out a flask while he's up on the roof, which I'm assuming is supposed to be water, but I like to think he's just chugging.
Not sure, yeah.
He's just drinking some scotch up
there.
there.
That's not water. That man is drinking on the job. Okay.
We got to talk about these little fishmen.
Yes, they're 3.
I love the little fishmen.
Yeah, 3 little fish guys.
I love the minions.
Oh, you know what? There we go. Kevin, Stewart, and Bob.
Hell yeah. That was the fastest we've ever named an alien on Andor.
Sorry,
a new record.
Kevin Stewart and Bob?
Those are the 3 main minions.
Oh, I thought you meant one of them was named Kevin Stewart and one of them was named Bob.
No.
Let's
not complicate this.
No.
We got him.
One of them was named Jay and the other one was a sort of silent Bob.
Yeah, Kevin's the tall one with 2 eyes. Stewart's the one with 1 eye, and then Bob's the short one with 2 eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
After Andorks, we'll start Minions podcast, where we go through all the despicable memes.
Please stop doing that.
Noah, that's what it feels like every time you do your Trump impression.
You know for a fact that my Trump impression is better than the Minion impression.
These minions, okay, they're coming in here. They're taking our jobs, our supervillain jobs, okay?
Listeners.
I've met Gru many times. And he's been very nice to me. But he said terrible things about me behind my back. Can you believe it?
But now
can you believe it? He comes up to me,
anytime you're driving east on the 101, you go, "Hello, Stewart."
Gru's crying. He's crying. He says to me, "President Trump, sir, I need my minions. They're unionizing." I said, "No more. We're going to send in the army." And so we sent in the army.
Well, we got some time
we
now.
We're going to take out the minions.
Are minions workers?
No, because they're like cops.
Yes, exactly. And cops are not
Minions
workers.
Aren't workers because I don't see them performing any tasks. Just like how in this episode of Andor, incredible segue, the little fish minions just kind of run from building to building, which, again...
They've been shot at.
Okay, you know what? Maybe they organize some
I
armed
love that they have little T-Rex hands.
They do.
Yeah,
what I am annoyed by is they show up for like all of 3 seconds, and I'm like, no, I want a loving like pan over all 3 of them. I want to know their names. I want an extended universe property about their whole deal. Where it's revealed that they were actually really incredibly important in the war effort. You know what I mean?
We can give them that lore. What do you want their lore to be, Noah?
I don't think it's up to me to decide what their lore is. I think it's up to the people, the fans. The fans have to decide.
Okay, so we're saying goodbye to Kevin Stewart and Bob.
Yeah, let's say goodbye because we do return back to Marva.
Yes, we go back to Marva. There is it starts with, as Rusteen likes to say, if BT was a dog,
yes.
It's just a perfect dog stare at one of the Primor security guards, just not dead-eyed, but just like hyper-focused on one of the guards.
Just giving them the big puppy dog eye.
Yes.
The one singular eye.
Yes. Then one of the guards is watching Marva. Marva sits in her chair, and she says, "Gets to you, doesn't it?" And then the other guard tells her to shut up, and then she finishes her sentence. Noah, do you want to say it?
No, you do it. I'm bad at remembering quotes.
Oh, that's what a reckoning looks like.
She said the title of the episode.
That's what she said. She said the special secret
oh my God,
word.
wait, that's the title of the episode.
It sure is.
And that's what a reckoning looks like.
And it's because all that like pot banging is happening outside the windows, and these two
Show me what
corpos.
A reckoning looks like. This is what a reckoning looks like.
This is my reckoning song. This is my fight song.
No, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And as she goes into this little speech about how they are going to see what a reckoning looks like, we do get a little mini montage of Timm's dead body. We see Andor and Luthen making their way through Ferrix. We see Brasso walking away.
This is what a reckoning sounds like. I fucked
like,
up.
Yeah.
I'm off this fucking podcast.
Also, sorry. Again, I want to focus on Brasso,
yes.
which is a cleaner.
And he's cleaning up shop on Ferrix.
Brasso.com. I make that joke every week. I don't...
No. That's actually really problematic to say to me, a gay man.
That's fair. But you got the joke anyway.
No, unfortunately, I know many heterosexuals. It's a real problem.
And is that it? That's our 7 minutes.
Well, there's like a little bit happening.
No, because
here.
No. Hold on, that's not it. Because
we have an ending too.
Because then also she's like, what you should be afraid of is when it stops.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, the second pair of blowjob brothers here who are in there, a second pair of blowjob brothers has impacted this.
They are so
sequence.
afraid. She can see how afraid they are. And when she says what you should really worry about is when it stops, one of them takes the bait and is like, what happens then?
What happens when it stops? You die, bitch.
And that's when she shuts up.
Yeah.
That's when she sits back in her chair and is like, mission accomplished. And all throughout this, the pots and the pans are getting, the banging is this cacophony. But then as Cyril and the rest of the Primor corpos get into position, it stops being just this overwhelming noise and it starts to become organized and it becomes rhythmic until it all of a sudden stops and this eerie silence comes over the scene.
It's the song Banging on a Trash Can from Doug.
Banging on the walls, a heartache, bang, bang.
I bet the performance of Stomp on Ferrix is amazing.
God, Jesus. Star Wars. What is the Star Wars version of Stomp?
It's on Ferrix and it's great. I bet Bix and Cassian had to do it as kids. That was the high school production.
Star Wars cats?
They would be Loth Cat.
Oh, God. I know what a Loth Cat is because I'm familiar with the Old Republic MMORPG. So may I just say, no, thank you.
And
can I point out one last thing?
Sure.
When she says that's what a reckoning sounds like, you can see a little bit of steam coming out of her mouth because it's so fucking cold in her house.
Yes, exactly. Her house is always cold.
Why is she so cold?
I'm sorry, that's really like elder coded. She's got to turn the thermostat down. That is very my dad coded, actually. So is what that is.
But that's our 7 minutes.
Well, the last thing we see is Cyril in the shop, and Andor puts the gun to the back of his head.
We do see our Kevin, Bob, and run by again.
They run by again? No,
Yeah.
that's
Bobby.
That's when we get to see like their faces for real.
Yes.
That's when we get to see that they're orange little guys. Because before I thought they were like Jawas or Ewok.
No, they're like orange. They're like little fish
I went
cakes
frame
that
by frame. You could see them for like one frame as they run by the first time.
Yeah.
See, and I hate that. I want to see the little fish cakes that walk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's good, actually.
And
the little fish cakes.
I do also want to point out when the banging stops, those two Primor guards abandon their post and run out of there. I'm assuming they just run back to the ship because they need a change of underwear.
Real.
And then, yes, we end, our final shot is of Andor putting the gun to the back of Cyril's head, which is the 10th time that he shits his pants in this 7 minutes.
The man, he's shitting like you wouldn't believe. He's shitting bricks even.
Cyril loses at least 10 pounds across the 7 minutes. He needs to re-tailor his outfit because he's lost so much weight.
Pretty funny though.
It is very funny. And yes, that is the end of our 7-minute chunk of Andor.
We also forgot Marva just leaning back in her chair.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really good grandma move.
Yeah, she really knows how to scare these guys.
She's feeling herself.
Noah, do you have any final thoughts for this arc, this episode, these characters that we've seen, anything that we didn't get to touch on yet?
It's actually interesting. This segment, it feels like you said, I feel like the actual shootout is not necessarily, I don't know, it's not the most captivating shootout I've ever seen. But hey, it's a very good sequence, and I think obviously the part that I think is most important of this is the way that it sort of reflects the anxieties of the various corporate security Pinkerton assholes, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's a really important portion of it. I don't know. I'm not down on the initial episodes of Andor, obviously, but I think personally, it's not my favorite chunk of season 1. Yeah. Because my favorite chunk of season 1 is obviously the heist.
Me too.
Because I'm a big heist guy. But I do think, each 3-episode chunk is trying to do a different genre of film or whatever. And so, I think this one is obviously doing the Western, the showdown. Yeah. The sort of the colonial showdown in the frontier, right? And I think that's something that it's very interesting to try and do in Star Wars, a place where we see so many frontiers but never actually really establish the political context of those.
Yeah.
And also, I, as an investor in Primor Enterprises, I am concerned about where the company is choosing to spend its capital investment. I am concerned about their hiring practices. I think we need a full audit.
Well,
and you are the Empire in this dynamic.
I'm just an investor. I'm one of the rich people in the Last Jedi who's at the casino. I'm like, hey, I put all this money into Primor stock and it's going down. And I think it's because they did DEI and hired a guy who was extremely wide.
Can we do an Andorks episode that's just the 7 minutes of the casino?
That'll be when we maybe a Patreon bonus one day.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just think we shouldn't be hiring people for our security forces that are extremely wide. I think it means you're not combat ready. It means that you can be shot very easily, and that's all I'm saying. I think we need to evaluate our hiring practices.
I am noticing that Cyril has his wide sidekick of Mosk, and Andor has his wide friend of Brasso. And I would pick Brasso over Mosk.
The thing about Brasso is that Brasso is not disproportionately wide, which is the problem with Mosk. Mosk is a reasonable amount of wideness, right?
Sure.
Mosk is a wideness that I think Brasso is a reasonable amount of wideness for his frame. Mosk is a amount of wideness.
Brasso is thick. Mosk is wide.
Sure, yeah.
Did you say thick with 2 C's there?
Implied.
Okay, all right.
Thick? Would you prefer me to say it that way?
I don't think we ever see... Well, the thing is, I don't think we ever see whether Brasso has a dump truck or anything like that, so I don't know if you could really be making that assertion.
I mean, he's thick. I don't think it's not just about your ass.
No, Well, it's not just, but it's an important component.
You gotta go to Brasso.com to find out.
That's right. Google Brasso.com. Don't go to Brasso.com. Google Brasso.com.
No, but I do think one of the advantages of these 3 episodes is that it does really, I guess, mirror well with the final 3 episodes.
Yeah.
When it goes like full Battle of Algiers,
Mm-hmm.
we've now established this land and like how it works, and it really does. The last 3 episodes would not have hit as hard if you did not sort of explore them at the beginning and understand.
Yeah, this show does such an amazing job of making Ferrix feel like a real place that people actually live in, that exists outside of the story that we're seeing. And I don't think you could get that if this first arc breezed through some of this story and got Andor into the rebellion fast.
I think I've talked about this a little bit. Like it's not just desert Tatooine land.
Yeah,
like it is a developed city with it's not just in the middle of nowhere.
Nobody's going down to Tashi Station to buy power converters without establishing the production and supply chain of those power converters. I'm excited to announce that I've been offered the opportunity to create an original series for Disney Plus called Tashi, where we'll actually investigate how those power converters are made. It's going to be really good. It's actually a really dark and gritty take on the famous power converters from A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you're all ready to watch it, and for it to have 1 season, a 5-year gap, and then half of a second season.
But yeah, so now that we're wrapped up, Noah, you want to talk about just the politics of? You are much smarter about us on politics and the history of politics. So anything else you want to talk about the beginning of Andor in context of other political movements?
Yeah, in the context of other political movements, I know you were talking about Lolita Lebron. Was it last episode or a couple episodes ago? I don't know where this is coming out in the release order.
A couple months ago at this point.
You were talking about the Puerto Rican nationalist struggle of Lolita Lebron.
Would you have preferred? I feel like you're correcting me as if you would prefer I said it that way.
I would have preferred that you said it with the real flair, like Lolita Lebron. But I don't think that's necessarily the direct comparison. I think.
Oh no, I just think she likes her as a person, which is what makes her cool.
No, I hear apparently my former boss worked with her on a movie, and apparently she's wonderful. And I'm like, I want her to be able to do that movie. But the thing about it is that my boss, I like that I did clarify who I was talking about there, so it kind of sounded like Lolita Lebron had worked on a movie with her. She has a bit role in actually The Last Jedi. Not many people know this, but anyway, she died in like 2012. Moving on. The point is, I think to go back to the earlier comment that I made about the French colonial troops and whatnot, I think obviously you see parallels between colonial occupations of throughout time, the current occupations of American cities. I mean, it's a really kind of heavy-handed comparison here, which I think is entirely warranted, because you cannot be subtle with Star Wars fans. No offense to the Star Wars fans listening to this podcast, but the vast majority of Star Wars fans could not see a political undercurrent if it whacked them directly in the face with, I don't know.
There's no politics in Star Wars, Noah. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's never been any politics in Star Wars, especially not in the prequels, which have no politics at all. But I do think what is interesting about Andor is showing the transitional stage of the, showing the Galactic Republic to Empire pipeline, of the transitional stage of consolidation. Because obviously the Empire is a stand-in for Nazi Germany, but I think
or the United States.
Sure, or the equally fascist United Snakes of America.
I'm just saying, canonically, George Lucas said Space Off America, so.
Yeah, well,
and also the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and that's these guys in gray Gestapo uniforms are they can't possibly be based on anything else. But I think the thing that Andor is so good at is showing infrastructure and logistics. Mm-hmm. And specifically, I mean, part of the reason that this all goes tits up is because the Empire does not have the manpower or logistical infrastructure to directly control a lot of worlds that theoretically they should be able to directly control. And the process of taking over the securitization of Ferrix and the areas around it cause strain on the bureaucratic logistical machine of the Empire. And I think that's really good because I really prefer that sort of investigation of the logistics of it versus, I don't know, fucking whatever was going on with somehow Palpatine returned and then suddenly there's a whole planet full of Star Destroyers. And I think that attention to detail is something I really appreciate.
What if Tony Gilroy wrote a miniseries about how Palpatine returned and it was really good? What if it actually had a full political analysis?
I don't think he would do that unless you held his children hostage and
just drove
threatened to kill them.
A dump truck worth of money. But think about how
everybody has a price, Tony. Everybody has a price. Yeah, I think also the colonial frontier elements of it sort of flip on its head things like Tatooine, which ironically was filmed in Algeria, right?
Yeah.
Or Morocco, which the colonial frontier of the French Empire. Mm. So, it's all coming together.
And I believe is now controlled by ISIS or Islamic militants, if I remember right.
No. Oh, was it in the Western Sahara?
I think so, yeah.
Was it Sahrawi? Okay. Well, in that case, that's complicated, is what I'll say.
Well, on that note,
Noah, where can our listeners find you?
Wow. Well, you can track me down and hunt me to my house, but I would prefer you don't do that. And instead, if you want to see a bunch of stupid japes and jokes, you can find me on X, the Everything app, TM, at Noah Pasaran, Pasaran, or you can find me on Bluesky, an equally hellish app for different reasons.
Bluesky, the Nothing app. If X is the Everything app, Bluesky is the Nothing app.
Bluesky is the app where you say, I love to hang out with my friends, and then a 56-year-old resistance liberal who lives in Arkansas is like, oh yeah? How could you hang out with your friends when there's a goddamn Cheeto in the White House? So you can find me on Bluesky at noahs.bsky.social. That's Noah with an S after it, .bsky.social. Or find me on a variety of my friends' other podcasts. Or, duel me in the streets, but you will lose.
Noah, we have a new sign-off, which is goodbye, dorks.
Goodbye, Andorks.
Goodbye. I like goodbye, dorks.
You like those goodbye, dorks? I think
that's what I like more. What do you think, Noah?
I will simply say farewell.
Well, I was going to ask
/ or dorks.
My request is that you have one more Trump left. Could you give us our sign off as Trump?
We're going to say bye-bye, Andorks. We're going to say bye-bye. Goodbye, Andorks. Can you believe it? What an amazing podcast. Okay, and they're going to try and fade out over this. They're going to try and fade out, but they can't do it. They can't do it. It's too loud. They're going to try and fade out, and I'm going to give them plenty of material to fade out over, okay? It's amazing. They say, President Trump, you've done an amazing job of the podcast. I say you're welcome.
I'm not going to fade out over any of that.
All,
that's all playing, baby.
That's all. We're padding as much time as we can.
That's all gold. All right. Yeah, this hour and 8-minute podcast. Let's go.
Bye, dorks.
Bye, dorks.